me today on the Capital Show, Tom Wegner. He's an Israeli strategist, activist, and author whose career has spanned politics, civic initiatives, and blood ideas for regional change. I don't know if if you can correct me if it's not true. You have served as a spokesperson for Israelis' leadership, like including the Minister of Defense. You co-founded civic projects like the Israeli Space Association and written bestsellers books, of course, we know that. Your latest work, The Abrahamic Revolution, presents a groundbreaking vision for peace and cooperation across Israel, Lebanon, and the Middle East. Tom, I am so glad to have you. Pleasure to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm a long-time fan, I think since 2017. It's a dream coming true to be here and speaking to you and to the Lebanese people. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tom. All right, we're going to start about your advocacy for a shared Abrahamic identity to foster peace. So how do you reconcile this with the deeply entrenched national identities and the sectarian divisions in the Middle East? How you can build this, or can you share this heritage?
I think that our model should be what the Europeans have done with their continent. Europe, a century ago, was a place of war and bloodshed for centuries between many nations. And they had the success of building a shared European identity that doesn't come to replace or to contradict any national or religious identity. The European identity is not replacing the German identity or the Spanish identity or trying to change it. It's just saying we are all a part of the same region. We have our paths was crossed many times ago, many years and many times during the last centuries, and we have ties. We have shared culture, we have common ground. The common ground doesn't come to replace the national identities. I don't think that the Lebanese should change what defines them as Lebanese. I don't think that Israelis should change what defines them as Israelis. But if we will go back centuries ago, thousands of years ago, then we would see that the Phoenicians, the forefathers of Lebanon, and the Jews in the ancient kingdom of Israel, they had peace, they had relationships, they had cooperation. I think that many Lebanese also know the ancient story about the cedar trees that were sent from the Phoenicians, from Lebanon to Jerusalem to build the Temple of Solomon. That's a part of your story. That's a part of our story. It proves that our forefathers was living in peace. We can do it too.
Yeah, given the situation in Hezbollah and Hezbollah influence in Lebanon, how does your framework propose to handle non-state actors like Hezbollah? They don't align with a shared Abrahamic vision. What you can say here?
Exactly in the same way that your government, that the Lebanese government, have decided to deal with this issue. You must have sovereignty. It's not healthy for Lebanon, and it's not healthy to Israel, and it's not healthy to the Middle East to have armed militias that are acting above the government. And if you will try to imagine a very similar situation. What if you have a neighbor that doesn't have control in his hands? So maybe one day he beats you and he say, oh, it's not me. I don't have control in my hands. I have nothing to do. But you can understand that maybe what he say, maybe it's true, but still you have to deal with it.
Okay.
We can live under fire for Hezbollah.
What is the stance in Israel now? Like Israel has indicated a willingness to withdraw from the south of Lebanon if Hezbollah is disarmed. How do you perceive this conditional approach in the context of your proposal framework?
Well, first of all, you know that I'm not speaking on behalf of the Israeli government, but I think that I speak on behalf of the Israeli people when I say we don't have any problem with Lebanon. It was never about occupying Lebanon. It was never about fighting Lebanon. We were under attack from Lebanese soil, not by the Lebanese army, but by Hezbollah. And we had to stop it. And we stopped it. And I think that the healthy thing for you is to gain sovereignty over Lebanon. You cannot have sovereignty if you have militias that are attacking on their decision and not on the decision of the government of Lebanon.
So you mean that the Israeli people and Israel as a country is ready to withdraw and release the hostages? The government is ready to release the hostages if Hezbollah now is disarmed. Hezbollah has this condition to release the prisoners, and this is an issue, a big issue. So who is right, who is wrong here?
First of all, the prisoners that were taken are Hezbollah combatants. They raised arms against us. They were firing at civilians, at houses of people. They killed people. They killed our children in Majid Shams. They killed Israelis. They spilled Israeli blood. What do you think a murderer belongs? Does he supposed to be free or should he be sitting in jail?
You can return it to the government in Lebanon and they decide about it, no?
It's one approach, it's possible, but it's also one approach saying that if we captivated them and they raised arms against us, then they should pay the price that we see fit. I'm thinking this is a different issue because I think my thoughts are that this is an issue that mainly concerns Hezbollah. And it's not an issue that concerns the Lebanese people. That's the way I see it. Maybe I'm mistaken. Hezbollah will have to change if he wants to exist, if he wants to remain not in power, not with his arms, if he wants to stay in reality, if he wants to remain existing, they will have to change. And I think that if Israelis were bombing indiscriminately without the permission of the State of Israel, were bombing Lebanese families and murdering Lebanese children, and they were captured by the Lebanese police, I think that they would be sitting in jail in Lebanon. That's what I think, but I'm not speaking on behalf of my government.
It has to be state discussion, state to state. It's not has to be a militia with a country that has to stay always on war to protect its border or its sovereignty or safety. So let's talk about the U.S. proposal about establishing an economic zone in southern Lebanon to provide jobs for former Hezbollah members. So let's say, how does your vision incorporate economic development as a tool for peace building?
It's a great tool. I think that if we will start cooperating, not necessarily Hezbollah people or not necessarily southern Lebanon, but not necessarily northern Israel, because it should be a cooperation between countries, not between regions or specific groups in the population. But I think that if we will learn that we are better when we cooperate, and I'm sure that we will be better when we will cooperate. I'm sure that Lebanon has a lot to gain from cooperating with Israeli high-tech, with Israeli economy, with Israeli skills and knowledge. And I'm sure that we also have a lot to benefit from your contribution. The Israeli people and the Lebanese people are very similar. And I think that you can find even statistics that those are the two most educated people in the Middle East. Together, we can do great things. And there's no reason for hostility.
Yeah, we are seeing the example of United Arab Emirates, and it's people-to-people communication and exchange of culture and knowledge. I want to talk about the role of external powers like Iran. How do you see Iran is hindering the implementation of a shared Abrahamic identity in the region?
I want to make a divide between Iran as a nation, as a people, and between the Iranian regime. I think that the same way that Hezbollah doesn't represent the Lebanese people, the Iranian regime and the IRGC, they don't represent the Iranian people. I'm in contact with many Iranians. I know what they say, I know how they feel. They feel that their country was occupied by radical Islamist Shia doctrine that doesn't even represent most of the Shias. That's how I see it. It's obvious that this regime has nothing to offer but violence. The only things that they know is how to cause damage. I was shocked when I heard from Iranian friends in Tehran that they don't have any bomb shelters. They don't have any sirens. They don't have any air defense.
Wow.
I ask you, is this a regime that has the right to govern its people if they spend billions and billions for Hezbollah and rockets and drones and nuclear weapon that its only purpose is to eliminate Israel, like some sort of murderous obsession? Do they represent the people? I don't think so. I think that Iran will have a huge change. I think we will see it. I think that in the near future, Iran will be a partner in shaping the Middle East for the good, but it won't be under the leadership of Khamenei and his cult, his death cult. It will be
Yeah.
under new leadership.
So this is lead me to a question about how do you see the Middle East in 20 years from now? How would Iran will be, Lebanon will be? Do they get involved in such a vision? As I said before, we have a great experience between UAE, Israel, and the four countries that signed the Abrahamic Accord. Do you think that President Trump will encourage this? Is it the time to encourage now with the new administration such accords?
It's always the time to encourage peace. It is never the time to encourage war. And definitely when it's a war between families, this entire Middle East is a family descending from Abraham. We are all the grandsons of Abraham. I'm asking you, is our grandfather proud of us in the way that we handle each other? I don't think so. I think that we should do better. I think that we should do some more effort to treat each other decently, to see each other as humans, not as some caricature that's being portrayed by the media. I know what Lebanese think about Israelis. I know what the media is saying. I know what the indoctrination is. We are just people the same way that you are people. We have good people, we have bad people, we have funny people, we have sad people, we have it all. But we can get along. I'm sure of it.
In brief, Tom, tell us about your book, where we can find it, what is the main idea of it, and the message that you want to tell the world about it.
The Abrahamic Revolution is a manifesto of a new current, a new political current that I call political Abrahamism. Basically, it's the answer for political Islam. It's a place that people from the Middle East, doesn't matter if they're Jews, Sunni, Shia, Druze, Christian, Yazidi, whatever they are, as long as they understand that we should protect each other, that we should protect peace, and that we cannot allow murder in the name of the God, and we cannot allow terrorist militias that are acting above the states.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a common ground for a new political school of thought, for a potential alliance, a place that you and me can be a part of the same political school of thought. And if you will continue this thought, and if we will look at the model of the EU, and it's a successful model,
Exactly.
And if someone would be speaking about this model in 1940, they would say he's a clown. But we should be aiming for the creating of a shared Abrahamic identity and shared political and regional institutions. We should take the example of the EU. We should have a regional parliament. We
My
should
last
have
My last question is about Ahmed Shara. Since you mentioned the radical Islam or the extremist Islam, how we can combat it by spreading the tolerance culture. Do you think that the Shara will sign soon? Because we heard in the media that there were meetings, there were talks under the table about such accord. What's your knowledge about it?
Ashara is a mystery to me. I think that it's very hard to say if he is like some people think, if he is a terrorist in disguise, meaning he still have the mindset of ISIS, but he's trying to disguise himself, or maybe, and it's a big maybe he's extremist becoming moderate. It's very hard to tell. And I think that for the new Middle East, we should allow room for extremists to become moderate. And if you take a look in the Quran, and basically that's his foundation, he's coming from the Quran. The Quran says, the Quran foresees the returns of the sons of Israel to the land of Israel towards the end of days. The Quran doesn't object to the state of Israel. On the contrary, Quran, if you really read the Quran, it's a Zionist document. It's a document that is for the right of the Jews, of the sons of Israel, of Banu Israel, for their homeland, the state of Israel. I think that he should acknowledge it in the name of Islam, the same way that Sadat did, the same way that King Hussein did. Now, he is not a part of the same school as the other ones, but maybe there's hope.
Yeah.
Maybe he can do it. We will have to see.
Okay, wait and see. Thank you, Tom Wegner, for this lovely interview, and good luck for your book, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. I hope that we will create a bridge. Thank you,
Inshallah.
Maria.
Thank you.
Inshallah.